My wife said her coworker was just a friend. Then I found their hotel receipt. For 11 years, I never had a reason to doubt my wife, Jessica. We lived outside Kansas City, had a 7-year-old daughter, and built a life that felt ordinary in the best possible way. I worked as a maintenance supervisor at a food processing plant, while Jessica worked in customer service for a software company. We weren't perfect, but we had survived layoffs, medical bills, and sleepless nights with a newborn. I believed if we'd made it through all of that, nothing could break us. Things started changing after Jessica's company hired a new sales manager named Eric. At first, he was just another coworker she mentioned over dinner. Soon his name came up almost every day. Eric made everyone laugh. Eric bought coffee for the office. Eric stayed late helping people finish projects. Whenever I teased her that she talked about him more than me, she'd laugh and say, "He's just a friend from work. Don't be ridiculous." I believed her because I'd never had a reason not to. A few weeks later, Jessica started working late 2 or 3 nights every week. She'd come home tired, eat a quick dinner, and spend the rest of the evening texting, while claiming she was answering work questions. She also became strangely protective of her phone, never leaving it unattended like she used to. Whenever I walked into the room unexpectedly, she'd lock the screen without thinking. Every small change had a reasonable explanation, but together they slowly chipped away at my peace of mind. One Thursday afternoon, I finished work earlier than expected and decided to surprise Jessica with lunch. As I pulled into her office parking lot, I noticed her car wasn't there. I figured she'd gone out with coworkers, so I called her. She answered immediately and said she was sitting in a meeting that would probably last another hour. I apologized for interrupting and hung up. Something about her answer bothered me because I was literally staring at the empty parking space where her car should have been. I didn't say anything that night. Instead, I started paying attention. A few days later, while cleaning out the glove compartment of Jessica's car before taking it for an oil change, I found a folded hotel receipt tucked beneath the owner's manual. It showed a room booked for 1. Friday night, the same Friday she'd told me, she was attending an overnight company conference. The hotel wasn't anywhere near the conference center. It was almost 40 miles away in a small town neither of us had any reason to visit. I hired a private investigator the next morning. Less than a week later, he confirmed everything I was afraid to believe. Jessica and Eric had been having an affair for nearly 7 months. The late meetings, business dinners, and overnight conferences had all been excuses. They met at the same hotel several times each month and often spent entire weekends together while I stayed home believing she was working to build a better future for our family. Before confronting Jessica, I contacted Eric's wife. Her name was Melissa, and she had already started noticing the same strange behavior. We met for coffee, compared dates, and realized our spouses had been telling identical lies. She thanked me for showing her the evidence, because she'd spent months thinking she was imagining things. Neither of us expected that conversation to fix our lives, but at least it replaced doubt with the truth. The following Saturday evening, after our daughter went to my parents' house for the weekend, I placed the hotel receipt, investigator's report, and divorce papers on the kitchen table. Jessica walked in smiling until she saw the folder. She looked through the photographs, covered her face with both hands, and immediately started apologizing. She claimed she still loved me, insisted the affair was over, and begged for another chance. I listened quietly before telling her that I could forgive a mistake, but I couldn't rebuild a marriage buried beneath hundreds of deliberate lies. Our divorce became final 8 months later. Eric's wife left him, and within a few months, Jessica discovered he'd already started dating someone else from work. The man she'd risked our family for disappeared from her life almost as quickly as he'd entered it. I kept the house, shared custody of our daughter, and slowly learned that peace is worth far more than pretending everything is okay. Sometimes the hardest goodbye is also the one that gives you your future back.